I love Genshin Impact. I played it for like half a year straight and burned through almost everything I could at the time. What I enjoy more than Genshin Impact, though, is seeing Tower of Fantasy players criticize it, hate on it, and also Googling Genshin Impact to see what other websites, what other reviewers, what other content creators were saying about it. So I decided to Google, is Genshin Impact worth playing in 2023? And this right here was actually one of the top results. 10 reasons why Genshin Impact is bad and how the developers can improve it. Now, admittedly, I have not played Genshin Impact this year. I have been called out for being a Genshin shill. I mean, sure, okay. So, like, I can't talk to what is currently available and present in game. I can discuss what I experienced over the majority of 2022. Genshin Impact is an amazing game for sure. It is made with lots of care and has a huge amount of good points. However, as players, we want our games to be perfect, and it's never going to happen. No game is ever going to be perfect. In this guide, we'll talk about 10 things that players don't like at all, and that is definitive, and how they should be changed. Number 1, there is no PvP present in game. And I'm going to be honest with you, we do not need PvP in Genshin Impact. I could not imagine how broken and unbalanced PvP would be. Everyone would have meta builds, meta team compositions, and the most OP characters they could. And all the free players would be just left in the dust with no chance of competing whatsoever. The first way to improve the game that occurred to me was the inability to fight with other players. Cooperative mode is a really fun mode in Genshin Impact. No, it's not. I think it's actually a horribly done game mode. I feel like you should be able to fully experience the game in its entirety with another player, not kind of like cordon off or section off or segregate the game and disconnect certain aspects of it, eliminating the majority of progression types that are currently available in single player. The things you can do with your friends are not many. Introducing the possibility to fight with others, like in the rest of MMORPG, this isn't an MMO, will fuel the competitive spirit in every player. The solution to this, add a new PvP arena or some events with PvP mode. I don't think that's a good idea. Next, you can't see the main characters in the open world. I think this is an area that Honkai Star Rail excels in, being able to see all of your different cast out in the world, interacting with it, engaging with it, adds additional layers of depth and immersion that just isn't present in Genshin Impact. The solution to this is to create models and dialogues for these characters and make them patrol or stand in their workplaces. It's actually not a bad idea. The next is alternate sprint crashes with terrain. This is one of the things that get me angry when playing with Mona or Ayaka. They're both amazing characters with outstanding visual effects. One of their main abilities is their alternate sprint to let them run on water. However, outside of water, you just get blocked all the time, like little stones, stairs, even small terrain changes. Please debug that. The solution to this is to modify and debug the alternate sprint of Mona and Ayaka. I don't recall that even being an issue, but I mean, I guess it is.
Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of our incredible patrons. You guys allow me to continue to play games like this for a living, and I can never truly repay that kindness. Also, if you're interested, I stream over on Twitch every single weekend. You should totally come on over and join me.
Next, the repetitive daily missions. Welcome to gacha games, where everything is this vicious, repetitious cycle, but you have to do it because if you don't, you'll fall behind. Every player that wants Primo Gems does their daily missions. Every player that wants any kind of premium currency in any gacha game will do their daily missions. That doesn't mean they don't become boring. The same monsters reappear in the same place and the same people need the same help. The solution to this is to increase the number and difficulty of daily missions. Maybe to have the main characters help. I mean, they are doing exactly this. Every new region, they increase the number of daily missions. Next, the stagnant standard wish banner. Okay, I do see this potentially needing an improvement. Not one Genshin Impact player expected that the standard wish banner will be the same after almost 2 years. At the start, no one had characters nor weapons, but now pretty much everyone has all the good characters and weapons this banner can offer. After all this, yeah, except for the new people that continue to play it. Like if you go look at the number of new players going into Genshin Impact every single day, every single month, it's reasonable as to why it still exists. 3 million players almost, globally, disregarding China. So no, not everyone has these characters. There are millions of people every month that don't have access to these characters. Only one region was included in 2 years. There was Mondstadt, there was Liyue, there was Inazuma, there was Sumeru, and then there's Fontaine coming very soon, or it just came. I don't quite remember. So that's technically 5 regions, I think, over the course of the last couple years. That is a lot of regions. That is a lot of land to cover. I feel like they're doing a pretty good job. This is more of a temper tantrum than anything else, but it's still something the developers should be aware of. Even if I know all the work they put into every area, I still don't see the need to introduce half of the region at the same time. The reason why it takes them so long to introduce regions is because they are absolutely enormous. There isn't a single other game out there, a gacha game out there, that introduces worlds as large as Genshin Impact does. The solution to this is, instead of updating the game with a huge new area, maybe introduce a region little by little so players don't get bored. But then they don't have something to get to look forward to and get hyped about when the introduction of a brand new, immense, large region is introduced, right? Power difference between characters. Every top tier of characters that you find on the internet is an example of this. Ganyu will always be the top DPS, even if Keqing is a DPS kit as well. Kazuha will always be the best support, even if Chi-Chi has a support kit as well. Each character's battle kit is different, and that's okay, but sometimes the power percentages or the passive abilities make some of them too powerful. I mean, yeah, but no. I think it is important that when you spend money, when you spend time, resources, and energy to obtain a character, they should remain powerful. If you waste resources to obtain a character and then they hit them with a nerf every other week, what is going to be the purpose of obtaining new characters? That makes absolutely no sense. The solution to this is to rework the kit of some characters so that there isn't that big of a gap. But if all the characters are kind of equivalent to one another, then that just leaves everything boring. No one will be able to min-max. It's like a major part of the game. Next, not enough free-to-play Primogen. Okay, yeah, like right there. We don't even need to read this. Hoyo are pretty bad. Well, maybe not so much with Honkai Star Rail, but with Genshin Impact, they are pretty bad when it comes to earning Primogems as a free-to-play player. Difficult to find good artifacts. Artifact farming in Genshin Impact is probably the worst aspect of it. I know Honkai Star Rail drastically overhauled how they go about handling their artifact-ish system. I do not enjoy grinding for artifacts in Genshin. I think I spent months grinding to attempt to get my Shenhe and my Eula and my Raiden Shogun all fully geared and equipped, and I gave up because I only managed to successfully get a full artifact set for Eula, and that was after like 4 months. It was fucking horrible, demoralizing, and I never wanted to do it ever again. And finally, the gacha percent is too low. Have you never played Fate Grand Order? The gacha percent isn't good by any stretch of the imagination. It's passable, but I mean, there are bad gacha percentages out there in bad gacha games. This is not one of those. And those are changes that this guy believes Genshin Impact needs to remedy to potentially make the game good. Because according to him, Genshin Impact is bad, and this is how they can fix it. There were a couple legitimate concerns here. Otherwise, no, this was actually kind of a joke. But I mean, this is my opinion. I don't know, maybe you guys can shed some light on your opinions. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, if Genshin Impact isn't the kind of game that you're interested in, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of more interest to you.